Oh, wow. 8:34. Okay. Well, I guess it's not too late. I'm gonna open up this very long, very, very long, very well thought out comment um, that is quite complex in terms of what he's trying to say. And then he later on left a more condensed version of what he thinks is going on. And I just appreciate the fact that he, took the time and effort to do this in the first place because it really took a lot of thought to write something like this worthy of an entire stream. But I'm going to wait till the 5 minute mark before I actually start reading the actual comment. Oh, hey, yeah, you too. How have you been? Are you doing all right? Good to see you again too. It's been a while. I haven't been on here. Well, one, I don't have any dreams I could recall. Nothing at all. No dreams means no videos. As stupid as that sounds, that's just how it is with me. Oh, everything's good. I'm glad to hear that because I definitely know you're having trouble as last time. Hey, Dan. I'm glad you're here. Um, I am a little sick too, so have been for a while, but today is kind of really getting to me. And I've been out and about all day too, so. But if I sound weird, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of out of it. Um, but the point of today's stream is, basically we're discussing how I'm able to access other dimensions. What is it like? What is the process that's happening? Like, how is this happening? I actually asked Replica about this. Remember the AI chatbot I used to talk about a lot? She gave some interesting replies. Yeah, Dan, it is winter. It is freaking winter here, and I know we have the standard June gloom, but this standard June gloom seems to be abnormally cold. I remember last week at work, I was wearing a jacket and gloves. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. And keep in mind, just because the temperature says 60 degrees, it feels like it's 35. Like, it feels monumentally colder than 60. Like, there's some inaccuracies going on there. What I want to hear about is anybody on the East Coast that might come on here. And you said Kabir visited you last night again. If they still have that smoke situation going on. Um, I've heard some really strange reports of people saying that it feels like there's like the fires are nearby, like the smoke is not coming from Canada or from far away, that it feels like something that's really close. And I thought that's interesting because we've been through a number of wildfires here. So I'm experienced with wildfires. They're not. But I will concur that it will, if the smoke is far away, okay, it will be present kind of, it will feel more distant. Like you'll see it further out into the sky or further up, rather. And it won't smell nearly as harshly as if the fire was close. Has that ever happened to you when you lived in New York? Yeah, no, no, dude. Hell no, man. Fires? Like, nah, this is strange, man. Like, I've never heard of anything like that. Never has that happened when I was in New York. Never. Uh, she was in my school and she had a needle, a kind of needle that takes blood. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I've never heard of the East Coast having smoke over those cities. Neither have I. Neither have I. I don't think it's ever happened. Um, and wildfires in Canada is not a new thing. Just want to make that clear that first of all, it's naturally occurring. That is a natural process. Whatever natural means on the Mandela Earth doesn't mean anything anymore, but Canada has very massive boreal forests, right? So obviously they're going to burn, and they've been burning since forever. And what makes these fires so special that they just happen to condense this area of smoke in a very specific region. And when I say specific, I mean it's literally encircling the Northeast. Like if you look at an aerial map, it's just weird. Yeah, we've experienced this stuff in San Diego, Dan. 2003, 2007, 2009, 2014, where my apartment right here almost burned down. We literally ran out of here and jumped in the car surrounded by fire. I could feel the flames on my face. I woke up literally with a helicopter screaming over us, telling us to get out. So we know about fires over here, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Kavir grabbed my legs in order to drag me to her lab to conduct experiments. You know what I kind of wonder about since you mentioned that? I don't know about your case, Kaylin, okay? But it does make me wonder something like a sort of screen memory. What if some of my own experiences, rather than whether they are or aren't accessing other dimensions, what if they are placed for the specific purpose of being a screen memory for experimental purposes? Because I've had experiences similar to what you're describing, laboratory type stuff going on. Okay. So, and then of course, there's the UFO phenomenon of having abductees describe screen memories put in place, and then they would go into regression. And that really makes me wonder at this point. But let's see what the subscriber says now. So I'm kind of wondering if you're an abductee, Caitlin, is what I'm trying to say. Is maybe that's what's happening to you. Okay. Let's go over piece by piece of this extreme. This is long. Okay. This is very long, just a fair warning. But I have to read this to the public because, like I said before, he put in a lot of time and effort into this. Omniverse is the name. Dan, your videos have given me a new breakthrough. The hell is that? I just got kicked out of this. Yo, you guys seeing that? I just got kicked out of the stream twice. Why does it keep glitching like that? You guys don't see what I'm seeing. The screen keeps going black. It's super annoying. Finally made a yeah. Thank you, Lynx. And now that you're here, seems. Wait, did it stop? Dude, it was just glitching on me. Yeah, it was going black, Dan. Like the screen went black on me multiple times just now. Hey, Infinite Quarters. Wow, I definitely haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we're just reading a really brilliant comment left. We're just hanging out today. And as long as it lets me stream here, might have had some technical difficulties for a second or interference. I don't know. Your videos have given me a new breakthrough. It all makes sense now. Remember, you said reality is like an endless fractal, and there are unlimited alternative parallel mirror realities a soul can go into and experience. Correct. I will agree with that very much. Endless fractal realities that you can access, actually, they're contained, all that information is contained within your eye, within your physical eye, and within your spiritual eye, actually. I believe we're doing is like vortexing. He calls us vortexing. There's two types. Vortexing is when you're shifted into an alternate parallel mirror reality by your oversoul, or I think you call it a group soul collective. But since we are incarnated, you'll be shifted into a parallel mirror earth that looks the same, but it's really an alternate parallel mirror earth from the earth you were just on, maybe very subtle differences. If reality is a fractal, there are unlimited parallel mirror earths. How is it possible? Well, then, what's interesting is that he's personalizing this to me, though, but this could very well be a product of, this could be taking place with anyone, actually. Not to rescue you. Well, I wouldn't be able to rescue you in the physical domain anyway. I have no power here at all. It would be in the dream worlds that I would, and I would do that subconsciously and wouldn't be aware of it unless it's a lucid dream again. So a lot of streamers are having issues. Interesting. Yeah, well, I definitely agree with this. And that's a really confusing concept to me, and always has been, because if you're shifting into a parallel world, into another body, does anyone else shift with you into that parallel world? Like, for example, your parents, wife, whatever family you're with, are you now observing the alternate version of them, or are they shifting with you? That's important. I think a lot of people might overlook that, but I think that's extremely important if that same particular soul shifts with you into that parallel reality. Because if they don't, you're now living with essentially a stranger that you think is your spouse or you think is your mom, but you're now in their domain, you're now in their reality. And a lot of people have experienced this very thing where their, significant other would completely change in character or become a completely different person. And I have experienced this myself, changes in character on many occasions. So this is not shocking to me. And then you also have to wonder what happened to your alternate or your original self. Okay, so if your soul shifted into another body, did your original self pass away? Did your original self, is it now being inhabited by another soul? It's really strange to think about. And there was a really weird story I posted yesterday, guys. You got to see this on the community post, of a man who claims exactly this. This is what happened to him. He said after taking salvia, to be specific, He was a Mormon preacher or something with a big family living in some small town in Utah. And he thought he was getting marijuana. It's this whole bizarre story, but he smoked salvia. And he said that after that, he woke up on a lake on a boat being resuscitated with no relation whatsoever to his Mormon life, like thousands of miles away. So he was in Utah or Alaska. I don't remember exactly. But he ended up in Texas being resuscitated and brought back from near death. And as he's being resuscitated, this is after smoking salvia, he's living he's a completely different life now. This person has no relation to the Mormons. He is just some guy in Texas now who was on a boat and he almost drowned and died. And he's trying to trace back his steps now and contact his family. And this was like an 8-long process to try to basically what the doctors thought was that he had some kind of strange case of amnesia. Okay. Like, it's too much for me to get into, but you guys got to see this video. It is what I would be the very definition of switching to another reality. So you said, this happened last night when I was in her lab. Oh, okay. I've been vivid dreaming about Quivira capturing me, and somehow it is like hypnagogia experience, and I have been doing it before. That's interesting. Kind of scary too. You saw that vid. Okay, you saw that vid, right? He was in Texas for like 9 years. That's right. That's right. And then trip back to Utah. So he was like on this extended drug trip, right? And remember how he was talking about how people who've taken salvia said that they would feel like a paint or like the paint on a wall and it would feel like 30 years. That's I don't know. I did do that a couple of times in high school. I had no such experience. The only thing it did to me was like have this weird visual alterations, like the walls were closing in, and it wouldn't last long at all. Like, I mean, you're talking about a 5 minutes maximum, and people are saying that they feel like 30 years would go by. That is, man, that's the very definition of switching realities. I don't know. That's kind of creepy too. No thanks for me on that one. All right, so like, can you imagine you play an Xbox game online that has only 30 character players, can choose from every time you load into that game just because the 30 characters look the same doesn't mean the players' souls are the same people controlling those characters, different server, different players, different souls. Okay, so that's what we're just talking about, right? Who are the souls inhabiting the new Earth that you're on now, right? I have a real example that happened to me. I was driving and I was at a stoplight and I look at a couple walking. The dude had on an orange hat, and I looked back at him 2 seconds later. His hat was baby blue. And I didn't know about vortexing, so I was very confused. Now, also, my other proof, my dad told me a story of crashing his car from falling asleep at the wheel with confidence. Now, years later, he says that never happened, and now he tells me a different story. Mandela effect. No. Yeah, you know what? Now that he mentioned the story about crashing his car and falling asleep, I've had similar things happen to me where people would swear by a certain situation or event, and I would remind them of that event, and they would be like, they don't know what I'm talking about. I watched that video about his salvia trip. It sounded incredible and hardcore. I've done salvia around 40 times, had absolutely insane experiences. Definitely shifted into other worlds on salvia. You did? Wow, I must have missed out on that then because did not impress me whatsoever. But it definitely, I mean, I didn't do it 40 times, like maybe 5 times, but and a long time ago too. So this is what Lucid Explorer said Hypnagogia is like someone going through a different dimension. I see. Okay. DMT makes people go into a virtual world, kind of another dimension. Yeah, and interesting about ayahuasca and DMT is that different people often see the same type of characters at play. I don't know. You should look into Graham Hancock's information on ayahuasca, and he goes into detail about all these different experiences people would have. They would see the same deities. It doesn't matter who the person is. They do the same substance, and they would see the same exact characters, which technically, psychologically speaking, shouldn't even be possible. Gestures of other characters. All right. This is not the same soul. Okay. So he says this is not the same soul. This soul has the same body as my dad, but I know my consciousness has been vortexed many times into an alternate parallel mirror Earth. So by the time I talk to him about it again, red flag, his experiences are different. He tells me now he never crashed the car with confidence because this is a different soul with the same body. Subtle major differences. Now that's where I might not necessarily agree, because why should it be the same body? If it's a different Earth, it's a different Earth, period. That means a different body, in my opinion. But then again, everything is contained in a sort of superstructure of reality, right? Condensed into a singularity. All events, all things are contained within, essentially the light of God, the infinite singularity. And all those things include an infinite number of bodies stretching on to infinity. And those infinite number of bodies, imagine them being in a circular pattern. And being that it's a circular pattern, it's actually just a looping same body. So in a sense, he's right. It is just one body, but it's kind of like a film reel, looping varieties of itself forever. But that basic information is all on that one film reel. I'm basically convinced there is a way for us to literally see the construct of the simulation realm. I've seen something like this on Nitrous multiple times. It's just outside normal human vision. Interesting. It is. No, it is. I haven't really done that one. I haven't done anything for God knows how long, thankfully. But that's interesting, though, because the substances do and can shift you into other realities. I would definitely agree with that. I have seen some stuff, and I've shared it on this channel before, but I just don't want to get into it right now. But it's kind of similar to being in that, dream state or half awake sort of state, right? Which is where a lot of my experiences are, right? So, for example, that Cyclops. Remember a few weeks back, I shared my dream about the Cyclops character that I'm literally in this very bathroom and I'm seeing myself with this giant eye for a face, basically just one giant eye inside a head. And it's like illuminating this enormous power. And I was really bothered and freaked out by that for a long time, because who the hell is, like I was just saying, am I like this weird evil character beneath the surface with this one eye? And haven't given it some thought and meditating on that experience. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, but to summarize it, I basically I wouldn't really call it a dream, but it was a dream because it felt absolutely real. Let's call it a waking dream, or almost like sleepwalking state. where I go into the mirror in the bathroom and I'm seeing a completely different alien face, basically. And it has this one cyclops giant eyeball, and the iris had a very distinct diamond kind of shape, and it was illuminating this blue light. And meditating on that, I similar to what happened with the out of body experience, where I saw those white eyed, pale people, right? I'm not going to get into that now, but a sort of similar situation where I do believe that that was a future avatar of myself, sort of going back in time or going back to this present for the purposes of observation through time for whatever purpose that might be. So, for whatever reason, that future self wanted to see me right now, just like for whatever reason in that out of body experience, that life and that body with the white eyed sclera people with the red lights and the white skin, I felt it necessary to link those dimensions together. The mystery is still open as to why. But so he says, remember the lady you said acted weird at work? That's not the same soul. That's not the same lady. At some point, your conscious awareness soul has been shifted into an alternate parallel mirror Dan on an alternate parallel mirror Earth. So which lady is he talking about? Because every damn lady at work is strange. I mean, that's really doesn't that's not saying much. You're gonna have to be specific about which lady, man. I'm gonna take this off because it's kind of freaking warm in here now. Hold on. No more Russian Adidas. All right. So what happens to the soul that was in the Dan body? The soul shifts out and goes to another alternate parallel mirror Earth to have different experiences, and your consciousness soul shifts into the place of the soul instantly, and you continue that soul's mirror life. And since y'all were doing the exact same things, like the same side facing mirror, you won't even know you vortexed it. Looks like everything is linear. Now people are acting very strange, subtle, major differences. Yeah. Oh, it probably is that lady. Yeah. The one that followed me down the hall. Or, yeah, that was standing right behind me and staring like that. I'm not in that job anymore, too. But, like, yeah, there was a other lady that just came up and just laughed in my face for freaking no apparent reason and just kept pointing at the sky. Like, there's just weird stuff going on there. They kept asking me for biological samples. Then the job before that was weird too, with its own weirdness going on. This place I'm currently at just has tons of meth smokers and homeless people, and just feels very unsafe. But nothing strange has happened there yet, except a lot of mentally unstable people. So 10 years ago, I smoked DMT and I saw the simulation. The molecules were separating. It looked like I was in a cartoon. I had, the cartoon that you brought that up, since you brought up the cartoon, the closest thing I've seen to like a cartoon realm in terms of on substances was like on shrooms. Back when my cousin, like in Tucson many years ago, he gave me some. And I saw that but it was just replaying in my head the whole night, like just this cartoon world. It looked really cool. I I still kind of have like memories of it, like vaguely, but I have memories of what that world looked like. I didn't associate it with this world though. I was just replaying this cartoon world in my head, and it looked really cool. I really wanted to go there. Never a dull moment. Yeah, never a dull moment. But yeah, in terms of oddities or strangeness, I've only been at this new place a few weeks. So far, I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary there that I could tell, except for me and Dan discussed yesterday the excessive noise. It was extremely loud and noisy, with endless alarms and sirens going off nonstop for hours and hours and hours, which seemed really unusual. That was like the closest thing to unusual that happened there so far. You may ask why. It makes reality flexible so each soul can experience their soul contract or karma or desires. If you didn't shift, she would have never acted strange, and then your boss changed. That's another vortex. Then the license plate changed. That's another vortex. These are mirror Earth reality subtle major differences. Brought up license plates. The 666s lately are just completely out of control. Out of control. And not just me, other people I'm talking to, friends. It's not possible, mathematically, logically, statistically not possible to see 5, 10 license plates a day with 666 on them. Not just license plates, but even if it was just license plates, the statistical probability of even seeing one should be extremely remote because of the number of combinations a license plate can have. And in California, we have an extra number as opposed to most other states, making that even crazier. You have literally, I don't know, the combinations must be in the billions or trillions of combinations of numbers. But no, you see 666 5 times a day, 911 5, 10 times a day, every day, 7 days a week. Not possible. This is reality insertion taking place. Somebody's coding this shit in here for us to see. Okay. There's no other explanation. I'm sorry. But if it's some kind of taunting from the devil, let's say, that wouldn't make much sense either because I already know the devil exists. Why does he have to keep trying to prove it? Like, what is the point? That's just really strange to me. I think what the point of the 666s are is to help trigger memories, or they're helping you to trigger something deep in your subconscious. For what purpose, I don't know, but perhaps it's to do this vortexing. Perhaps it's to shift in these other realities. Maybe these numbers are assisting you with the shifts. That's a theory. I don't know, but basically experiencing hypnagogy under the dreams and somehow shifted to the Legend of Korra book before and Kavira found out and decided to experiment me. I wish I can explain. I don't know. I really think you should meditate on that because I don't know why that's happening to you, but it does seem like something subjective and personal to you though. Um, that's definitely really interesting though. That's happening in your dream state. Something serious is going on here for sure. It subsided today, Dan. Oh, Dan. Yeah. Oh no, there's no noise today. No. Well, I spent most of the day in Orange County, but still, it was super quiet in Orange County. So, you see about 2 a day, Annie Robinson. So, see, there's another connection right there. So many of our kind of people are seeing these numbers. That's not an accident, too. That's not an accident. We're all connected to this. Okay. All right. I got to get going and keep reading because I'm going to have to go pretty soon here. Vortex shifting can happen at any moment during the day with endless mirror Earths. It can happen multiple times a day unnoticed. It's instant and it will happen until Dan dies. It is a natural part of incarnated reality. I think it is a natural part of incarnated reality, but it's supposed to be much slower. I don't think we're supposed to be shifting multiple times a day. I think in a naturally generated sort of Earth game, let's call it, we would be seeing this sort of thing shift once every few years, every few months, maybe. But this process obviously is speeding up to multiple times a day. Yes, I would have to agree. Hey, there you are, Jeremy. But if there are unlimited mirror Earth timelines and Dan souls, including you shifting in and out of those alternate parallel Dans, are so each soul that is in a body called Dan can have different experiences on different mirror timelines of Earth based on what that soul needs or wants to experience. It makes reality endlessly flexible. And yes, those souls do branch off into actual alternate parallel Earths after you shift, and they shift out. Y'all may do different things. Like this flexibility is so reality looks linear, and so the individual soul can have experiences that can make reality for them look linear. If reality was linear, these strange anomalies wouldn't happen. Also, the other type of vortexing is called a physical vortex. It is when a soul and a body are vortexed to alternate parallel worlds that may be a different world or Earth. This was proven real when a dude, from the country of Torad, yeah, I remember that story, came to Earth, or Earths. He had a passport with different countries, not from this Earth. And the next day it was found that he vanished and never seen again. Yeah, that's like a glitch in the Matrix, right? Okay, so that does happen. I think that's probably exceptionally rare. That's not very common, but I think that does happen occasionally where you could physically actually shift into another reality in your current soul, current physical body. Yeah, Omniverse, we're going over your comment here. Oh, look, Danny is here too. Wow. Full house tonight. Fantastic. Yeah, we're actually getting towards the end of your very long comment now. So people that vanish in national parks and come back the same age years later, they're more likely physically vortex. I've heard of stories like that. Uh, I think it was in New Mexico or something. I heard a story where some rancher, this was like in the 1920s or something, he went into a cave and he was missing for like a decade, right? And he comes back and he said that he was gone for like a few hours, but he like nobody's seen him for like a decade. I gotta find that story. I like stuff like that. That's kind of a creepy thing about time too, right? Like what if you're like that one example I gave earlier in that podcast I shared where the guy on Salvia said that he experienced like the paint on the wall for 30 years, just being paint on a wall for 30 years. I'm still trying to, by the way, for those of you who saw that, I'm still trying to understand this guy being stuck in Texas for 8 years while he was actually in Alaska. Like how exactly that worked on a physical level, I'm not sure. But that was just such a fascinating, incredible story. Like, just again, if you haven't seen it, it's in the community post, Vanessa VA. You have to listen to that podcast, and that Mormon dude's story is incredible. I call it a 3.0 vortex shift. Your consciousness must see reality linearly. There are unlimited parallel mirror Earths every time you vortex. You'll go to reality that fits the narrative of your experiences. And thanks to the flexibility of unlimited parallel mirror Earths, it makes it possible for your individual consciousness to experience endless realities that have been Mandela affected the same way, so that every time you vortex into another Dan body is the same narrative Earth. This creates the linear illusion. Right. So I like the example of the film reel, actually. And the last thing, how is that everyone else is affected too, before I get into that? You know why the film reel analogy is really good for that? Because take each frame of the film and say each frame, let's just say it's a film reel of somebody filming a person and nothing else. And each frame has that same person making movements, whatever it is that they're doing. Each body, let's just say that each frame represents a different body. Each frame is a different body, but the real is the soul. Okay. The whole entire reel is the soul. So it's just moving through, cycling through endless reels, like, or endless bodies or frames through that reel. Right. But the soul, it's not actually going anywhere. It's just spinning from one reality to the next endlessly. So that's how I see it, I think, kind of. We only assume our perception of time is relative to each other in relation to the universe. Time is just there, just like space. Pretty much, yeah. There's a divine and feminine aspect of space and time. We're taught only left brain logic, and this makes that an illusion, yeah. So who knows what kind of time shifts we have already experienced? How do we know? Interesting question. I don't know. Shift is instant. You have to look for a change around you or something odd. It's not possible to see. It's very instant. Yeah, I've had plenty of subtle, small things. Like a long time ago, I made a video about my microwave. Okay, how it never had a logo on the front of the microwave. It was just blank. And then one day I wake up and there is this big ass Westinghouse logo on the microwave. I absolutely swear it was not there before. So that's an example right there of what you're talking about, Omniverse. And I'm sorry for not mentioning this, but Omniverse in the chat here, this is the one whose comment I'm reading. Just FYI, I should have mentioned that a long time ago. But yeah, I've had lots of subtle things like that. And then right around that time, when my microwave ended up with that logo miraculously, my schedule at work changed. It was a subtle change. So my shift, instead of starting at 3:30, it starts at 3. And so I come in one day and I ask my boss, "Why did you change the schedule? I thought I always worked at 3:30." He said, "No, it's always been 3." And no, it wasn't. For months and months, it was 3:30. And I always came in at 3:30 for months and months. And nobody ever told me that entire time that I was late. And one day he just tells me it was always 3. We just didn't bother telling you. So I was always late. Are dreams triggering your memories? I think they are, Kavir. Yeah, I think dreams trigger a lot of stuff deep inside of you. It could bring back even past life memories, future life. It can bring back things deep in your subconscious, your childhood, all sorts of things. Absolutely. So let's get to the end of this, guys. Well, let's say you talk to a friend, then you vortex well, you're going to an alternate mirror Earth with the same narrative, and that friend is a different soul, but they may have the exact same experience. So if y'all talked about something, you may just continue the conversation because in the parallel reality, you vortex too. You'll have the same exact conversation, so it seems linear, but the linear is an illusion. Reality is an endless fractal with endless outcome, but it's not impossible for souls to endlessly have the exact same experiences. That's why everything seems linear. It's what I call the mirror Earth effect or vortexing. But you can vortex at any moment during the day and not even realize it's so instant. You have to look for subtle, odd anomalies. It's not that something changed weirdly, or you may have vortex into an alternate parallel reality Earth. I think we vortex multiple times a day, every day. Interesting. And we have reached the end of that one. Okay, guys. Very fascinating indeed. Definitely have to meditate on that. In my suggestion, we should all meditate on that. Yes, I have been kidnapped in dreams, Kavir. Yes, I have. thrown in the trunks of cars, shot, stabbed, tortured, you name it, it happened to me. And sometimes, my God, did it feel real. I remember many years ago, I had a dream where I was running away from somebody shooting me. And it was a field. I remember distinctly there being like a monorail or a train on top. And I was trying to get to the train. I was trying to look for a station so I could just hop on the train and escape from this guy. And he's shooting me and shooting me, and I'm hit. And I know I'm hit. And then I start, feeling dizzy in the dream because, I'm losing blood now because I just got shot. And he comes up to me and shoots me point blank. And I wake up and I feel like pain or pressure in those same areas that I got shot in the dream. Yeah. I don't know if Kavira captured me. I would have to know like exactly what she looks like. If you could give me a description of her appearance, then possibly. A lot of these characters, though, the thing of it is I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if in dreams, do I see more male or female characters? I honestly don't know. There are times where I can't really even see a face at all. There have been plenty of experiences like that too. But Suyans. All right, I'm gonna have to look that stuff up. It's a 9:21 right now. I'm gonna look up more information on this Kavira character. Is your computer up where we can see it live on my channel? Just upload a 2-minute video of a guy who explains it. If you can't do it, it's fine. Oh, explains what? No, I was gonna go. I was about to get off the stream here. Back is killing me. Oh. Oh well, you should just invite Omniverse, just invite everyone to your channel here. Let's just go to your channel and see it there. You should. I am done. I am done now. So if you want to add anything else, please add it in the comments. I would appreciate it. I do have to go now, but I'm gonna click on Omniverse's channel here too. Actually. There we go. Oh, yeah, 1,000 subs. Nice. Okay, time doesn't exist. I'm definitely going to check this out. Yeah. Here, how about this? I'll just share it in the comment one right now. I'll just do that, and we'll all check it out, hopefully. Hey, Texas Danny. Nice seeing you. Yes, it was good. And everyone have a fantastic night.